Welcome everybody to Monza, just to the northeast of Milan in Italy. One of my favourite parts of the world. Tonight we're bringing to you the Split 3 race for round 6 of season 12. Tonight I've got with me in the chat at the moment Joshy Drage from Race Control, Laurie Saunders, Mark Dial, Phil Marsh, Roy Clark, the one and only Roy Clark, after Phil Marsh, Scotty Perrins and Timmy Betts. How are we, boys?
All good, thanks, mate. All good, mate.
Very good.
Oh, good. No
Good
worries.
to see Bambi made it.
Yes, we're going to ask the question a bit later, who killed Bambi, but that's all right. We think it was Dave Baldock.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. So have a quick look at the grid here. We're going to start from my car because I'm going to put my hand up and say I stuffed up, but that's all right. On pole, we had Scotty Van Loon, the Rattler. I love how he's the Pecky privateer. Andrew Galley from
He doesn't want to admit that he drives for Pecky. That's the problem.
Yeah, who does?
Pete likes to give it away, though.
Yeah, but he's got the nickname Rattler because Pecky fixed his motor, and that's what it sounded like after he fixed it. So that's why.
And then Andrew Galley from WK&P. Big shout out to Dave. I caught up with Dave today. He's still enjoying his new job and not racing vets. And he has mentioned this evening that he's thinking of doing Scops because he heard of this Scops driver called Roy Clark who he thinks he could probably chase around. And in third, we've got Jeremy Bush, Eddie Cullen in fourth. Great quality from Ed there. Darren Walden in fifth. Brady Taylor in sixth. Pete Vermey in seventh. Tim Betts all the way back in eighth. Timmy, that's not a good qualifying, mate.
Yeah, no, it wasn't ideal, but I just could not put a lap together.
More worried about the bloke next to you on the next row, though, Mark Dial. Michael.
Same as Tim. Couldn't get a lap together.
Michael Power back in 10th. Laurie Saunders, great qualifying in 11th. Got to be happy with that one, Laurie.
Oh, I was going to say the same. I couldn't put a lap together.
And Simon Farrington from Black Sheep Racing in 12th. And then we'll roll the page over if it lets me. And after that, we have Tony Power in 13th, Scotty Perrins in 14th from Pecky Performance Racing in front of myself in 15th, who did a nice banker lap, and then the next lap basically found a 1X. In 16th, Adrian Zeal, 17th, Jeff Eddy, Lucas Bird in 18th, 19th, Darren Friend, Craig Sholton in 20th, Phil Marsh in 21st with Joseph Granshaw behind him in 22nd. Josh
couldn't put a lap together.
Josh Drage couldn't put a lap together at all, and he was back in 23rd. Very poor performance. And the safety car in 24th. No, Josh is our race control. I better be nice. I'll get penalised next week. So we're going to... Yep.
I was going to say maybe the week after as well.
And I was going to say I was going to penalise Race Control for not putting out a safety car in the early laps last night. But yeah.
Well, we're going to get to that, Mark. Just don't give too much away yet.
Wow.
And I'm happy we're going to start with a long view tonight for the start. And let's get rolling.
Good evening, Anita.
And lights are green.
Join the chat.
Lights, Andrew Galley's in it. Lights are green. And the Rattlers are way up front. Absolutely flying. Andrew Galley dropping in nicely behind. And
Hold your breath.
poor old Darren Walden gave Eddie Cullen a tap, and one of the power boys went left, went right. I thought I had no room, so that's me done.
You just lost the brakes.
We just jump on with Scotty Van Loon now. Scotty on a flyer. Absolutely flying here. Absolutely getting the job done is the Rattler. Andrew Galley, no answer here. And around we go. And now we're going to jump on with Scotty Perrins. And jump back on the far chase. Scotty coming up to the first Lesmo. Looking good, Scotty. Lots of pressure there on Faz. Oh, what's Dial done?
Whoopa.
Whoopa! Airborne! Scotty!
Up and away.
And we're going to just keep watching down the back. He dials off, gets himself going, I think. And then we've got 3 or 4 boys down the back. We're going to jump up the front. Andrew Galley's got himself past. Timmy Betts on a flyer. Already up 6 spots. All over the back of Galley. And Jeremy Bush sitting back in third.
They kept telling me I couldn't win it on turn 1, but I tried.
It was a fair effort. I looked up and saw Andrew was leading and said, that's really using the draft train to get your way around. Big shout out too to Anita Buckland. I heard the training campaign to get ready for season 13 is well underway still. And Bruce McLeod's out there watching. You missed this week, so I hope you're back next week. And Lucas and John King out there as well. As Andrew Galley here nicely moves over a little bit. Big lock up in the back. I missed that one. Sorry, that was Eddie Cullens getting taken out. Well, I thought he got taken out. That was Ed and Pete came together. Wasn't going to mean too bad. On the radio already, the race control. Michael Power now shaping up behind here. And we've got someone stopped on track, which I think was Tony Power. So we didn't actually get a safety car for that. So look where Tony is.
Oh,
All right, still rolling. Yep, just double checking on you, Josh. Making sure you're doing your job.
Good, mate.
We're all good.
Good, mate. Yeah.
You're always good. So these boys here absolutely getting away. Having an absolute blind up out in front. So, hey. And I might as well dob myself in again.
Nice livery there, John.
Yeah. So everyone go wide, caught out, and have a look. Oh, around we go.
Oh, that was good avoiding.
Wow.
And kept it off the wall.
No, we weren't talking about you. Though.
And Tim is now gone. See you, Tim. Action plus tonight. Still a long way to go. That's the first 2 laps. So we'll let the race settle in a little bit. So how we all survive those? And Dave Galley's in the room as well. How are you, Dave? You did say you were going to join.
Scops, didn't you?
Well, he must be. Yeah, he's got his mic mute, so must be driving in Scops. Taking on the legendary Scops driver, Roy Clark.
Well, I'm in Scops at the moment. I can't see him in here.
And how are you, Andrew?
Yeah, good fellas. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. So what were you thinking at this stage with Tim pulling away?
Oh, mate, I was just happy to sit there and just because I was pretty shit house in practice. So I actually had a good qualifying, and I just thought if I could just follow him, and if I was happy with the top 5 for the night.
Well, fair enough. That's the goal.
Yep.
Top 5.
Yeah, I was just trying to make as little mistakes because I just couldn't put down a consistent line.
I think most of us struggled with that.
You don't feel lonely there.
Mm. So, plenty of battles everywhere. We might just jump back. Scott Van Loon making... Oh, that was Scott Van Loon making a comeback. Darren Walden was involved in that one. I just missed it. Sorry, guys. So I think Scotty got a penalty on that one for the lap 3 indiscretion. And Andrew Galley now under a bit of pressure from Jeremy Bush, who I reckon looked the most balanced this evening. And Dave Baldock has dropped into the chat.
White 37.
Yep, the man who killed Bambi. Apparently he tried to get on and ride it and fell off.
Like you do with the horse.
Righto. Of course, very tough track this one to really get 100% right. And you really, I think, if you could get into a draft train, you're kind of really sort of set. But I think a lot of us sort of spread out a bit from those accidents quite early, which sort of made it quite difficult to play catch up. And Lucas had a good start, sitting in 9th. Big Barry back in the chat. I haven't seen Big Barry around for a while. He wants to know who's going to send it.
Well, my money was on Mark Dial, but he used some excuse like his power went out. So
It's the power company sent it on me.
That's not the story I heard. The story I heard was, Mark, that you reached over, grabbed the Ethernet cable, and yanked it.
I wish I could reach over and yank it because I would have done that on lap 1. It's too damn far away.
So, Josh, it's probably the busiest first 3 or 4 laps that you've had this season.
Well, we had to make
yeah.
him earn his money.
So,
Well,
that's
true.
Lucas.
But then again, you guys want to be the best split though, right?
The cleanest split.
Well,
100%.
it's quite interesting. The license or the race info came out quite early, the race points, and it was quite interesting to see that our boys had still had the shortest list from race control in terms of incidents last night. And it's not like we're not racing hard, as you can see. Jeremy tucked right up behind the back of Andrew there.
Yeah, I got to say it was bloody clean. Like all the battles I was in last night, there was, it wasn't a touch. It was good racing.
I think it's something that's been. I'll try and come back to those screen license points. We'll talk about it later. I'll come back to that later. But it's really a good sign. I think the fact that we don't have many incident points and the guys are all still racing quite hard. And when you sort of go back and have a look through the general chat of the league, it's the boys are all quite happy with how we're sort of all playing along. Like, no offence to split 1 and split 2. There's a little bit of a niggle here and a niggle there after Thursday night because there was an accident here, or race control called this or called that, or where our boys are sort of more, that was a good pass, or you did well, or couldn't match your speed and thought you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when you do bugger up, and right, they don't want to hang you for it. They just you apologise and they accept it.
Yeah.
Because I bugger up a lot.
No, you were doing really well, Laurie, last night. I was sitting here in 7th at the moment.
Yeah, I took Simon out. Overall.
Chicks in the mail. Rory.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to get in trouble here because I know the Dobster plays. I think it is. I'll get this right in a second. I think it's not Tony. I think it's Michael Power's son. Basically saying that Michael finds that the fairness in the racing is quite really good, and he likes the guys he's racing with. We're all always quicker than what it is, and always happy to admit fault when things happen. As a couple of boys there go a little bit left and right. That was Jeff Eddy trying the shortcut that I talked about earlier.
Teammates taking each other out.
I have to ask Mr. Quain about that one.
Yeah.
And that's just Johnny just mopping up from behind.
That's all I did. That's kind of that's all. My tyres were shot. Like, I had those 2 spins in the first 2 laps, and my tyres were absolutely stuffed. And it really is a tyre track. You really sort of had to nurse your tyres more than manage the fuel. I don't know whether you guys found it that way, but that's the way I kind of dealt with it. Did you guys tackle it that way?
Yeah, mine.
Go.
Yeah, mine is in that first stint. Like they were fine, and then it was the shortest stint of the lot. But towards the end of it, they were absolutely shot, as you will see. That lead diminishes, but the middle stint and the end stint, they seem to be fine the whole way through. I don't know, and I certainly in the last stint was driving a lot harder than the first one. So I don't know what it was, whether it was the extra fuel was just keeping it planted that little bit more through that corner, right? So there's not spinning up as much.
Yeah, I
But-
did hear some of the guys from Taipan saying that the extra fuel did help.
Yeah.
But I found after my taking the repairs after Scotty nailed me in on the track there was about 7 laps after I was actually matching race pace and without a draft. So
What I
So you're
noticed.
saying you should have won the race, is what you're saying now.
See, what I noticed last.
I don't know whether I would have won it because someone didn't want to throw a safety car.
Big shout out to Dave Worrell, who's joined us in the YouTube chat. What I've really found this week with this circuit, and you sort of talk about the high fuel and low fuel. The high fuel gave you good drive, like coming out of the first chicane and a little bit out of the second chicane, but it didn't give you good pace through things like the Lesmos corners or coming out of Ascari or the Parabolica.
Ascari, I got advised to short shift into fourth, coming out of there, so they kept the wheels from firing up.
Yep.
Then you can keep it. Yeah, you keep it planted.
Yeah. It's just a tough little track.
I just struggled with front in the first stint. I had no front whatsoever.
For
Yeah,
me,
I think the setup builder needs to learn how to work the shocks. Just saying.
Of course, it's been a collective team effort, I believe, the setup builds this season.
Well, this track and myself and Jamie have always locked horns on. I've always felt that the car should be able to smash the curb without even knowing that it's there. You see it happen in real life. I don't know why it can't be done on the server. So,
Well, challenges
leave it at
out
that.
challenges out there to Mr. McKnight.
Well, I'll admit I struggled from day one with this tune. Like, really struggled.
So
I
Scotty
think a lot of the top split guys struggled as well.
Scotty Gamble,
Struggling with him.
our championship split 1 leader, has jumped in the chat and he says tyres are very important, especially managing them early on without pushing them too hard for the faster lap times. And Dave Worrell said a wise man called Harry once said, you have to have those staggered match tyres because it's the tyres that win the races. I love that.
Now you tell us. Why didn't you tell us that last week?
Oh, I gave some free advice this week, Laurie, on drafting for the boys around here. I said go and watch
the same movie.
Go and watch Days of Thunder, the same movie, and just watch how Tom Cruise pushes 2 condoms up Nicole's thigh.
Yeah, I suffered big time with tyres. Yeah, late in my stints.
I thought you could have said you're going down another path there.
I said tyres, not thighs. Well, I suffer with both.
Of course, big shout out to Dave. Dave doing quite well here, having a bit of a battle with Pete Tulloch. Of course, the boys are all pretty much spread out here. I think, this is basically the closest gap on track at the moment.
Well done.
Whoops.
Oh.
Was
And that's another 2 for me, Josh, as he said. We'll jump back on the next closest battle, which is back up with Jeremy Bush and Andrew Gelly. And Blake Warboys is in the chat. Wow, we're in exceptional company now, boys. We've got the Logitech G Pro Series drivers jumping into our chat. Monza's hard on the tyres played a big role in the Pro Series. So there you go. Of course, the Pro Series, correct me if I'm wrong, Blake, these boys are running around. I think, for those who don't know, they set their track temperatures based off an app the weather app that specialises in racing circuits or motor circuits, and it was extremely hot, and they couldn't set it as hot as what the actual forecast temperature was on the day for the circuit. So they had to set it to the max temperature that iRacing could do. So I think the circuit was 56 degrees, I think. So, yeah. I do have a magic button here. So at the moment, the track temperature for our race was 20 degrees. So those pro boys definitely had to work hard for it.
But they pay a little bit more than what you guys do too.
So, Tim, what were you struggling with here? Just Rees or
Just a shit driver, really.
yeah, right,
You look like you're struggling.
No, I actually was pushing. Like I don't know. I was watching that time, and you were getting closer and closer, and both of you were coming, and I'm like, if I push any harder, I'm gone. So
following Jeremy, mate.
I was yeah, I don't know. I guess it was just the tyres were going off, and I didn't want to put it into the wall, so I was braking that little bit earlier every time, because I had that bit of a buffer on his. And then once you started reeling me in, I just couldn't pull away again. I was like, ugh, it's not good.
Do you adjust your brakes throughout the run, Tim? Yeah, because I found
Not skilled enough for that.
I have a button for up and down. That's it.
Yeah,
Nothing more than that.
Oh, I was about to say you had a macro.
How do you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
time for that?
It's right next to my thumb, so I can just press it. But yeah, I've really found on this, as through that fuel run, I was clicking the brakes further and further forward.
Yeah.
As the fuel dropped on. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told to start to try and do that. But
Yeah.
I'll get there one day.
That was the plan. I think I did it in my last stint. I've forgotten the first two.
Yeah, as soon as I start to feel it, I'm struggling to get into a corner, I'll just do one click forward and just go from there.
Righto. As everyone's starting to come in for their first pit stop, which was around this time. Fuel was managing to go a little bit longer.
I can't remember whether it was John Latham or Christian Smart who said they move up one click about every 5 laps as the fuel runs off.
Smarty.
Yeah,
I
I was.
heard Jamie say that too.
Yeah, I think I was probably around 8 laps. I was sort of moving it a click forward, which was probably a bit late because it was generally as the car started to feel horrible that I'd go, oh, I should click that up. So it's not like I actually get it done on time or anything else like that either.
It was Dane Warren that told me that one, and particularly at Bathurst, you change your brake bias for Murray's and Hell Corner, and then you put it back to where you had it originally set, and then you move it again when you come down the hill.
No, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I'm flat out doing what I'm doing. They like need more jobs.
You ever get the chance to get on board with a bloke like him and watch what they do? It's absolutely phenomenal.
What was that word again?
Phenomenal.
Geez, you and Dave have a lot in common. Sure, that's how he says it too. Maybe you are the same person. I haven't seen you in the same room before.
He did have a good rounding out on Wednesday night, Dame Warren.
He did. Drove very well. Here we go. Dave Orrell's after big questions. And what was everyone starting at for their brakes?
51.3.
52.4.
52.2.
51.9.
52 flat.
No fun looking at the pits. We'll jump on with Jason Crenshaw. Have a look. And Scotty Gamble saying forward was the way to go. Brake bias with this setup here was around the mid to high 52s, which makes me feel a bit better.
I just left mine as it was.
So you trusted Jamie?
Well, don't tell him, but yes.
Jeez, you're taking your life in your own hands. Well, as you've seen on lap 1, I ended up in the wall. So
Dave Worrell with a 52.5.
trusting Jamie McKnight is something you don't do very often. Be like taking computer advice off Becky.
Am I getting you a good deal, Jamie?
I'm sure. I'm sure Jamie can see a second-hand car from West End Motor Group, of course. Good customer service down there, so they tell me. I'll send my bank account details later, Jamie. And Jeff Eddy under a bit of pressure here. This is after my first stop. Isn't that a great looking livery, Josh?
Fantastic.
Is it the red rocket or the red caboose?
Red rocket in this stint. Of course, worked on the theory that you had to drive a red car around Monza. Had to be faster.
And mate, that is red.
Yep.
Bloody need sunglasses.
That's why you went to red, Johnny.
And I went the red under the instructions of one of our team leaders who said I need to look after our sponsor.
Pretty cool.
I'm happy to get rid of the bloody green.
I've already told you guys how to get rid of the green. You just got to sign up. It's only in blood.
Well,
Written contract, nothing much.
a little bit of a free plug. Seems you just walked me into it. The Andrew's in the lead. Yes, Blake. Sorry. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, don't be
There
surprised,
is there is a colour change coming because Wodonga Carts and Parts are now the Australian dealer of EKS carts. So we will see next season a lot of orange on the car. So they're also still going to be selling the LGK carts as well, which is where the green comes from in the livery. But yeah, we'll be moving to an orange colour next year as well. So keep an eye out for that one when I work out how the hell to paint it. So what are you thinking here, Andrew?
In Michael Hayes' theory, would be a spec map on that, or Johnny?
Oh, I'm sure if I put a spec map on it and it looks really mint and worth $1 million, Hazy will come on and tell me take the spec map off. I still believe that Rushy's paying him good money to tell me to do that, but that's all right.
Oh, more than likely.
Money's pitch strategy got me back out in front.
Yeah, we definitely overworked the spreadsheet this week.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy was flying. He was flying all night.
You can tell he's not getting lessons from Wilco, I'll tell you that much. I think Braden must be jumping in telling him how to drive the V8 because Wilco's a shocker.
But Wilco can do a good interview, though. I must say that. Wilco, he's been doing the interviews for the Pro Series and done a brilliant job in the last one with Sandman.
Notice I say that while he's not here.
Oh,
I can't understand. It looks so easy watching this, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
if you can get Sandman to do a commentary for you, it'd be worthwhile.
Brenton did well to get him out of retirement for the Pro Series. And yeah, I'm not going to get my voice that high and get that excited in the lounge because I want it to be relaxed and enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think we want you to practice your Darryl Leslie.
And you don't need that. If you want somebody to get high and excited, I mean, Andrew Ritchie's your man for that.
Well, I did try to get Andrew Ritchie into the box in East Coast on Tuesday night, and he said no. Here we go, big move from Jeremy here, big dive. Andrew Galley, you are up, mate. You are my chosen man this week, as you're under a lot of pressure here. Talk us a lap.
Up talkers a lap.
Yep.
Break at the 200. Hope for the best to turn into one.
Obviously, that was an early break.
Bit of break.
Yeah, I'll let him go. He was a lot quicker than I was, so
Tucking the
struggled
draft.
to get out of there. I heard some bloke saying that they were using first gear to get out of turn 2. Well, I was always in second, so
Yeah, I was using first gear to launch out of there and then pull second.
yeah, I just struggled to keep it straight. Break 200 again. Probably where I plough through the ripple strip here. No, in this stint I go through the ripple strips, bend the front of it. Didn't help. Third through here. And back to 4th.
Yeah. A
Yep.
little bit of
Back
flick
down
there.
to 3rd here. Try and stay on the black stuff. And just basically following Jeremy. Just good for saving fuel. Break about here. This is also a tricky one I found. Like, I'd actually pull it back into second there, just to help the car turn. It's probably, I was probably a little bit slower in this section.
Yeah, so I was braking a little bit earlier and then holding third so you could then get a good run through because you'd shallow the entry and then you could open up the exit.
Yeah. Sat in third through that.
That's how I found Roy.
And that's probably one of my bad habits. I always pull an extra gear, like pluck it back a gear just to help the car turn and then just smack it back up. I don't know. Because when I brake early, I just feel like braking way too early and I'm just really bloody slow and I feel like I have to accelerate. I just haven't mapped that yet.
Do you know what? You sound so much like me. It is not funny. And I still, all the time, get in trouble from our guys. You brake too late. Jamie said it to me. Everyone sort of says to me, I brake too late. So I have been literally consciously working on pulling my braking markers back. And my plan on Tuesday night was for John not to show me at all through the broadcast. Which meant I didn't make a mistake for him to go, oh, here we go.
Here's Roy Clark.
Let's go have a look at that. And I don't think you showed me once through that race, basically.
No, I showed you a couple of times because I kept saying, here's Roy Clark, who we spoke to earlier. But I didn't show you stuffing up, though. I just showed you driving.
Yeah. And I think my whole plan was just to, I want to do the race and I don't want to get into, so you know how you talked about ploughing through the chicane? It was, I don't want to do that. I want to hit my braking points that allow me to get through that corner without feeling like it's rushed up on me. Because there's so much time on the way out of the corner.
And Anita Buckland, Andrew, reckons you should probably do the lap each week because you're funny.
I'll nominate that.
Roy, he's gone very quiet. He's embarrassed, I think.
I'm here. I was just watching you, Johnny. I was just
wondering how much damage is on that car in front of him. That was all.
That's in the
Well, that's basically what I did, and I was saying to John during the race that in a straight line I could just watch the dash, and it was just counting backwards. That just running over that sausage thing through turns 3 and 4 there, just killed whatever.
Yeah.
It will. As soon as you wrinkle the front spoiler,
It's over.
you've lost a ton of speed.
So yeah, I really hurt during the second stint. I was actually glad to see it over.
Yeah, there you go. I think, Scotty, I just had Adrian on for a little bit, mate. So I didn't mean to pick the bone, but I passed him. But had a good little battle there for Adrian for a few laps. Enjoy racing with Adrian. I sort of raced around him last week at Sandown as well. And yeah, love a little chat, little comment in the general chat today as well from Adrian. So much appreciated. John Latham says Monza is fun. And how did Big Ed go? Well, Big Ed is on the screen. I'm doing really well tonight. I'm showing people before I'm actually reading the comments.
Good night, all.
How are you, Ed?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I got over my sadness from last night.
Don't
You
ruin
had,
us for
you
us.
had good pace. That was the scary thing about it.
No, well, I got a meatball on lap 1. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
but
annoying.
later on you with Peter Verme and you two just drafted each other so well that I couldn't catch us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to pit again. So
Unfortunately, or relief to me that you had to pit again when you went in.
So, yeah. As you can see, my car hasn't got a straight panel on it at the moment. So I went through the wars early on there.
Hey.
And it's just a shame when you're looking at lap 2 and, yeah, you know the night's done.
Yeah, at least you got the lap 2. I spun in turn 1, so... let's see. Ed Powers is doing... Michael Powers is doing quite well. He's right behind you there, Ed.
We had a nice little run there for a while.
Mm.
At least you got through lap 2, Ed.
At least you don't have the nickname Major Scott, a.k.a. Major Tom.
Yeah, well, me and Scotty had a good fun last couple of laps. That put a smile on my face.
That's all right. Well, apparently NASA called the Northern Territory this afternoon to let Pecky know that they had one of his cars on the radar.
Need to put that background music in I can find.
Well, it's funny you talk about that. I was Googling this afternoon how to do a soundbox with Discord, so I might be able to ramp things up a bit in the future if I get some time to work it out. So Johnny Latham's another one that's fallen victim to the Rona. Struggled last night, wasn't feeling 100%. He was dead after the race. So another good man has fallen to the Rona.
Yeah, I had a coughing teammate in my ear at certain stages of the race.
Oh, I hope you're doing all right, John, and I hope you get better soon, mate. I think most of us have all been there, and it's not much fun. And Peter Verme's joined us as well. How are you, Pete? He's got himself muted, I think. So Andrew Galley's now under a bit of pressure again from the one and only Tim Betts. So this is after your indiscretion, Andrew.
Well, I don't know what that affirmate.
Sounds like you had a good night, Andrew. By the sounds there at the end there and that.
Qualified better than I practiced, so that was good. And I just tried hanging around Jeremy and Tim. To be honest, I thought if I could hang around here, you know, I'm going to be going all right because I had last week off, and yeah. So yeah, I just followed those blokes to be brutally honest.
The lap times, the average lap times were nowhere near practice, were they?
No.
They never are.
149s, 150s, and I think 150 was probably the more.
So
Go on, John.
I was going to say, I'd never really take much out of practice and out of qualifying times. And even during the week, I don't take much out of it. Like, it's more how you can make the car consistent over the whole spell. That's what I find anyway.
There'll be if you stay on this, there'll be a little bit of discretion for you.
Pulled a PB on, I don't know what night it was, Tuesday night, 48.9, yeah, at this track. And then went into a session that Greg Pavel set up and did a 48.1, and I was...
Oh! A bit of a push there.
I spun the lap car. I apologise.
Oh,
Drive-through penalty.
Yep.
I'm sure he brake checked me.
Don't know if you could have avoided that, could you, then, Andrew?
Well, actually, looked worse there. Than I reckon in car was completely different because it seemed like I had a lot of space and time then. But
He didn't lose too much
in the
because he's there in
car,
the background.
in the car, yeah, didn't have a lot of time. I can give you the tip.
No, it didn't look like it looked like he spun in front of you. There wasn't a lot you could have done.
Yeah, John Latham commenting that over driving in battles kills the tyres on the track. And that's what one of the other I was conscious with all night was trying not to overdrive.
Mate, I'm like a duck on a pond going flat stick every week.
Hey, Andrew, as a bloke that competes in real life motorsport and only turns left on bloody dirt and not bitumen, I think you've done very well.
Yeah, I got to say I hate it. Throttle control is just ridiculous. Got rev limiters before.
Absolutely. Dave, we're all reiterating the first tap a warning, second tap you're off principle. And not many battles out there at the moment. Let's go back. Greg Sholton, who Andrew spun before, was in an absolute shocker. He's under a little bit of pressure, and I'm not sure who that was spinning in front of him. And Ed Cullen has Michael Power chasing him down.
You do that yourself, or is that you helped him to?
Oh, I do. And Scotty Gamble saying, Andrew, nothing but love that push coming through. So Scotty's not too fussed by it.
You're trying to tell us it's a love tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't intentional. I can give you the tip.
That's
I
it.
think I got
Complete
about
innocent the whole time, mate. That's how it works.
I got about 20 odd seconds worth of optionals from that little tap I gave you up the back in that thing, in that incident.
Yeah.
And Timmy, you got past him here again, mate?
Nah.
Huh?
No.
Hang on.
No,
Took
you're up.
me a very long time. Give you the tip.
You're up in front of him there at one stage, side by side.
Side by side, but I just couldn't do it.
I just kept bobbing it into turn one up here and then stopping in the middle of it. Look at those red wheels, John.
I know. And just for those playing along in the chat, just notice that Andrew did not weave or swerve or block or do anything down the straight.
And Tim didn't dive bomb or overcommit or.
Actually, I haven't seen anyone weaving down the straight.
I was going to say, I was following a WK&P car in the Split 2 practice just before the race, and I was trying to get the toe off Richard Barella, but I kept swerving behind him and not getting it, so I found that didn't work, the swerving.
I think it had something to do with the flashing lights as well, though, Roy, but...
Yeah, but that's the electrical fault I had, so that's not my fault either.
Bit like my comms fault that I had last night.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What the hell was going on there, John?
No, he's had a comms fault.
He had a terrible microphone.
Yeah.
So did Josh there for a while too. I'm just a bit surprised by that. How are you, Jeff Thomas, joining us as well?
Thought I better drop in and send it bets. There's a nice move into turn one on that one.
I'm signing out, so have a good night.
No worries, Scotty.
Track.
I'll
G'day,
see.
mate.
I'll see you next Thursday, mate. We'll do battle again.
There's
We will.
Scotty.
That altitude sickness goes away, Scotty.
Yep.
Good night, dude.
And
I hope
Timmy
so.
getting the job done at last.
No,
Or does
don't
he?
speak too soon.
Oh, does he? Nah,
I left,
not on that
way
line.
too much room. I left
Yeah,
way
no,
too
we-
much room for him.
I didn't think I had Red Bull sponsorship.
And Steve Murray's jumped in the chat as well, so big shout out to Steve. Not related to the Murrays out at Louth by any chance, are you, Steve? So this is really the only battle we've got on track at the moment. Everyone else is separated at minimum after this by about 1.5 seconds. So we kind of all sort of spaced ourselves out quite well.
This one, Jeremy was just driving away from us.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point I was thinking, I couldn't get past you. I tried, obviously. But I was like, if we just sit here, we might be able to just, if you can pull me along, we might catch him. But he just kept going.
He was quick.
No one was catching him last night.
At least you were saving fuel.
Yeah, I was trying. I was still trying to overtake him, so I wasn't really
Jump onto
doing too
another
much fuel saving.
battle for a minute. Jeff Eddy's starting to reel in Lucas Burt. Of course, Jeff dials in from New York every Thursday night. It's a fair effort in itself because there's some ungodly hour over there. I think it's like 5 o'clock in the morning when we start. Nine Stephen Murray on iRacing. Reeling Lucas in, just getting in the toe here nicely a little bit. Just gotta be careful not to overdrive the car.
This is where I was keeping an eye on you, John.
Where's that?
You started. I was watching my relative. Perhaps more than I should have been. You starting to reel me in.
Oh, I'm 4.5 seconds behind. I've just got rid of Adrian.
Yeah, but
A little while ago.
Slowly but surely, you're reeling me in, mate, like a big marlin.
Yep, that's me in the background.
Couldn't do a frigging thing about it.
I just found, I think, to be honest with you, I think it's I think the biggest gains I was getting on yourself and Adrian were through the Lesmos corners. I think I was picking up about 0.2, 0.3 through there every lap each time. Oh, there goes Scholten again. I think it's the second time he's done that tonight.
Why didn't you get on Discord and tell me, mate?
Your confidence must have been up, John, then to sort of attack the Lesmos.
I wasn't really attacking him. That was the thing. I just found the speed the car was comfortable at, and I just had a goal of breaking it into the corner, being, I think there's a walkway or something in the first one, like a little bit of concrete strip coming out. And I just wanted to hit that each time at a set speed, so I wasn't overdriving the car, but I could get on good acceleration out of the first one. And then the second one, it was really getting enough of the car over the inside of the curb so I could hook it on the camber and be fairly straight when I hit the outside curb.
Fairly sloppy there, mate.
I was just thinking that, Laurie. we'll jump on board. Yeah, you can sort of see that little bit of bitumen or concrete on the inside there. And then this one here, yeah, just really hooking it right in on the edge of the curb, just getting it out a little bit there. Not being too narrow. Andrew Galley's under a bit of pressure again from Timmy, so he might jump up there.
Why was your car red?
Why? Because red cars go faster in Italy.
Okay. I was wondering who was.
No, our team delegate responsible for a certain sponsor has asked me to represent the sponsor a bit more. So big shout out to Super Cheap Auto. Look,
Oh,
Timmy,
yeah,
What
had to
was-
go on that lap, didn't you?
what was that?
You see his face,
Literally,
Mark?
literally the only mistake I did all night. You had to go to it. Thought you were going to miss it.
He doesn't miss it, Tim. That's what he does to me in East Coast. Don't worry.
I reckon he's watched it back and gone, "Yep, got him."
Yeah.
And I put that on there. Mark that, lap 26.
Yeah, nice helmet, by the way, Tim.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, it frightens the shit out of my daughter, but anyway.
Of course, that brought Brett Taylor back into play. And a couple of comments in the background here that I'll quickly bring up. Steve Murray asked if we use first gear or second gear out of the second corner. I bounced between the two, depending on how my tyres were feeling. If my tyres were feeling a bit off, I'd go in second just to make sure I didn't spin them up. And in first gear, if I felt I had tyres were good enough to do it. And David, do I have a sponsor? Josh, do you want to answer that one for me, mate? If you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah,
What was it?
Can you answer Dave Baldock? He wants to know who my sponsor is.
Oh, is he
White
deaf?
37.
Super check.
Super
Auto.
cheap auto. There you go.
That's it.
And we
He's
just
I
go.
nearly stuffed it up.
Yeah.
No, I'll get in trouble.
Here we go. There we go. Make it super, Dave. Super cheap auto.
Dave wouldn't know how to make anything super. He's South Australia.
It's a good ad, that.
And I'm just kicking myself because if I had my East Coast scenes up, I would whip into a 60-second super cheap ad now and
Eh.
which is quite handy on
That-
Tuesday
that
night
would
when I
make
did
it
broadcast
super.
by myself. Yeah.
That would make this a super broadcast.
And of
So
course, Super Cheap Auto also the sponsors of the East Coast Series as well. So big shout out to Super Cheap Auto boys. What was that?
Local branch or corporate? Or
Yeah, what
Yeah,
local
they're not a
branch was that?
franchise. No, they're not a franchise.
Oh, right.
oh, corporate body. Nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark Dial, did you disconnect last night?
Yeah, I had a power blackout.
Oh,
He
yeah.
rage quit.
And it just, yeah, it's,
It's called
By the
Barry
time I
reckons it's
found-
because of your lap 1 incident.
nothing to do with that one. Otherwise, as I said before, if
Hey.
I hadn't been able to reach the Ethernet cable on that one, I would have pulled it out, but I can't reach it. And I thought I'd battle on, and then the heater kicked in and flicked out on me switches, and yeah, that left me in the dark.
Well,
So I-
you're about
by the
reaching
time-
your pedals then.
By the time I come back, it was 10 laps down. I would have been at least 10 laps down. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not even going to log. I'm not even going to turn the computer back on. And I didn't until about midnight.
I think you and me went side by side through the first chicane.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, nice and smooth.
It's putting that power down in the. You just couldn't put the power down in the Lesmos like I wanted to, and like it should have done, and ended up in the wall.
Okay. Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, by the time I locked on the brakes, I was in the middle of the track, and I looked up and seen a car coming. I didn't even know it was Scotty at the time. I just seen a car coming and thought, oh, here goes. This is going to hurt.
You just thought Scotty could fly.
Did you close your eyes?
I did actually.
Yeah, I've had none to do that.
Took my hands off the wheel.
We only had the one dropout, which wasn't at turn 1 or 2, which was Mark. This is Steve Murray, just asked a couple of questions. And no, I don't think we had too much net code going on, from what I saw anyway. So not sure what you saw, Josh.
No, everything was pretty good last night.
Yeah.
Only for a few microphones that weren't working well.
Yeah.
Mine was playing. My headset was playing up something shocking.
Yeah, so was John and race control.
No, that's fine. On your end.
And Steve Murray saying that it was good racing by you in split 2, Dave. So I'm assuming he's referring to Dave someone. Don't think it's Bulldog.
Could have been Bulldog.
And Wayne, at least for a while. And
I might have been watching the broadcast from Wayne.
And Gary noted that he had lots of fun in split 3, finding split 2 hard work. Imagine being in split 1. I think split 1's even harder from what I'm hearing.
You're right there, Anita. Split 1 would be a royal pain in the butt.
And jump on with Scotty Perrins here, putting a bit of pressure on. Pete Tulloch in front of him as the leaders now go in for their pits. Having Michael Power out in front.
It's good to see Scotty can keep going and did all right.
Well, Scotty's got some big targets this season in the championship, and I know he's fighting on them. And Steve Murray is saying, yes, David, yeah, Bulldog. So, saying, yeah, Bulldog was a problem, or yeah, Bulldog. So, not sure there. I think he's referring to the Dave, but we all know the Dave we all know. And Scotty Gamble said he must admit that Anita, he enjoyed a couple of the races with the guys in split 3 last year. Can definitely remember Scotty Gamble at Silverstone chasing down Matty McMillan. I remember asking Matty midway through the race, was Scotty treating you as the seal that the killer whale chases in terms of playing with him, throwing him around? And then not long after that, Scotty Gamble took off and left him. And Dave Bulldog asking, what have I done? The question you always got to ask, Dave, is what haven't you done?
And that's raced well in split 2.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Dave. It wasn't me.
That was Dial who said that, and if you want to try and, prove me wrong, go for it, Dave Bulldog, because I know better. I've been watching you split 2 races.
Brett Taylor, he's still doing really well here, keeping Timmy Betts behind.
Yeah, he jumped me in the pits.
He did,
He
did he?
did that. Yeah.
Good fuel strategy.
Yeah, he must have saved a bit of fuel.
And
He did well.
Jeff Thomas says he's looking forward to moving to split 2 or 3 next season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope a few of those targets that Scotty's got, it's not me, because I got more zeros than a Japanese aircraft carrier.
Yeah, Scotty comes out to join this battle here. And man we haven't spoken about tonight, Big Faz. Faz is having a good race, sitting in 7th. And Dave Bulldog saying he can't remember Dial. It's been that long since he's raced him.
Don't worry, buddy. You're just a small fry in the split 2 that I'll come after. You won't even see me, Dave, at all when I get to split 2. There's others I've got in mind for split 2, and they know who they are.
It is. And let's have a look through. Brett Taylor, of course, still under pressure from Timmy Betts. But we might have a quick look through This is where I was trying to run down Pete Vermey. And Darren Walden had come out in front of me. Sorry, Darren Walden, he's come out in front of me here, and he was flying after that last pit stop. Poor bugger, lapped down after a few incidences early on.
Yeah, he can certainly turn up the wick when he wants to do that, boy.
Yeah. Definitely seeing lots of improvement in Darren this season, which has been good.
That was an interesting one. Yeah, there wasn't a touch, but yeah. Whoever the lap driver was, he'd slow down right there, and of course you'd have to swing the gate on the early part of the corner, and yeah, he spun on the exit.
This was where I had Pete in front of me up the road, and you were hounding Pete, and I was trying to latch on the back of Darren, and then hoping I could get onto the back of Darren so that I could slipstream like you two boys were. And then I just ended up overdriving the car a little bit and cooking the tyres up, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to the end of that, like that 88 lap.
Fuel stint, yeah.
Stint. So you guys were just coming out, so you're on fresher tyres. I'm at the end of my stint. So
I still wasn't 100% certain at this stage because I know you have John and Pete help you out with your fuel strategies and stuff, and I'm just going, surely not. Yeah, Ed's got to pit again. But what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? Ed's got to pit again.
What do you mean they help me out with the pit? I help them out with the pit strategy. Other way around, John. I'm the one taking notes and coming up with the ideas. Nah, look, I was locked in at that stage.
Yeah. She was definitely tough going.
I just took 2 full tanks, and then I think I pulled up 5-6 short to come for a splash and dash.
Yeah.
And I put a new meeting on splash and dash. I parked the car and I had to go to the toilet. I'm serious. I come back about 4 minutes later, and I thought, well, it's not going to make much difference.
I thought you might have been carrying some damage when I kept looking at it, like 800 seconds. Yeah, something's wrong there.
No, I went to the toilet.
Yeah, he was damaging the Dalton.
Yeah. No, not that. It was just a quick splash and dash, but it was my splash and dash took longer than the actual pit stop did. Put it that way.
There you go, Ed. He's basically said he was scared that he hit you then. So
who was that?
The person you spun before, or you thought you spun before, or they spun before.
No. He was in front of me when he spun. Got a bit excited on the right foot, but it did get a bit dicey swinging the gate there. My advice to someone being overtake: ease off coming out the corner, not going into the corner. It puts too much pressure on both of you.
I'm picking up all this good advice after the race. I want it before the bloody race.
Come on, Laurie, mate. At your age, you should be giving us advice, mate.
What you need to do, Laurie,
Yeah,
Laurie,
right.
you need to go back through the YouTube lounge rooms. I think last season we had John Latham drop in for a night, and John just dropped so many tips it wasn't funny that everyone just sat here and shut up, and John just talked for the whole race. Everyone just writing down all of his tips and advice.
Yeah.
He shows you stuff that absolutely surprises you after you think you know most of it. And go, try this, and you go, what? You can get that nearly every time he comes on and teaches you something.
Of course, Pete driving very well. He's a bit scared he was going to hit you again. Well, 7 seconds back here, so all good. No dramas myself. Timmy Betts, jump in with him. Hey, Timmy's a second up the road. Well, 2 seconds up the road now from Brett Taylor. Try and chase down Andrew Galley in third. Jeremy Bush, 10 seconds up the road. So Jeremy absolutely flew last night. Disappeared at this stage.
So, Tim, you're not actually following anyone for a change.
Yeah, I had a bit of. It was eyes down. I was trying to catch Andrew, and I was looking at Jeremy's time. So it was like my car actually felt the best this stint. So it was just eyes down and trying to catch Andrew.
It's funny, I didn't do very well in slipstreaming. All my PBs and fastest laps and stuff was always clean air.
Oh, heck. This is not rigged. I apologise for this at home. I just thought I'd just put up everyone's fastest laps. Now I'm more embarrassed sitting in 9th.
Oh yeah, I thought you might.
I didn't realise that, but anyway.
No, I noticed that in the having a look at the results page. I went, I bet you John shows it.
I didn't. No, I did not. I did not even know that.
It was an accident. I showed it. Oh,
It's never happened any other round.
yeah.
Nah.
The first time he's ever put those up for split 3 ever.
Yeah.
Well, with my Logitech keyboard, I finally found out where the macro button is. Thanks, Mark Dole.
Oh God, don't start that again.
Didn't you open up a can of worms there?
You know what? Last time that happened.
Mine's not Logitech though. It's actually, if anyone wants to know, it's actually Kogan that has the macros keyboard keys on it. So.
What was the skew on that one again? I'll just.
Yeah. Hang on, let me get a pencil. Hang on, say that again.
We'll just get rid of those lap times anyway.
Yeah, was that done on a macro? Was it, John?
No, I was done on your slipstream, Ed.
Autopilot.
And just going to put it out. We've got 27 people watching tonight, which is fantastic. So do the old saying.
Thumbs up.
Yep. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already.
I bet you Bulldog, he couldn't even move his mouse. He's probably that drunk to even find where the thumb is on the YouTube page.
Or he might fall off it.
Yeah, he probably would. Where's Fargo? He's usually around town.
I think he's asleep already.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably join in or come in on the last lap.
No race control decisions to be made here, so Vargs has probably disappeared. I got a feeling they had a hard night again. Looking at the incident sheets from Split 1, I think they had another hard night in the box for Split 1, the poor old race control boys. And Jeremy here absolutely flying 6.5 seconds up the road. Everyone's really spread out here. And Ed's still to pit. He's 6 seconds up the road from myself. Simon Farrington, I think, is about to have a battle soon with Peter Vermey, I think. Out of memory. And looks like one of the power boys spinning off there in the background.
All right, so I'm going to put the call out. Next week is Sebring. Is Cameron Beacock in the safety car?
Well,
is it called a safety car? If he is.
Of course, we did it already in East Coast, but we can do it again next week. We can rename a certain corner to Veacock Corner in the broadcast.
Yes. Can do that.
Sunset doesn't exist anymore in my mind. It doesn't exist in East Coast anymore. I can probably try and dig out the old graphic too if you want. We can show you the track map. Let everyone know that Sunset's been swiped out to Veacock Corner. The only man I know to ever get more than 1,000 likes on iRacing Twitter page. What was that, Ed?
I was just going to say, is it as bumpy as it has been in the past? Good old Sebring?
Yep. It hasn't changed.
That last quarter?
Yep.
They'll never change that.
It's still shit.
And there's about 6 lines you can take through it, and yeah,
And none of them are right.
nah.
You feel like getting someone to lend them a steamroller, don't you?
Of course, I keep talking it up, but the race 1 of the Pro Series is where they had the first 5 cars cross the line all within 0.5 of a second together. It does
Cracking race, that one.
Yeah, so it does create some good racing, Sebring.
Yeah, it's a long one too.
Mm.
How you going to go, Laurie, on those long ones?
Yeah, good. I wanted to pit stop the last one.
I did. On my last one. I told you, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, mate, I want to know whether the bloody race official is up for a bribery or not.
Yeah.
Josh?
Josh?
Nah.
Mate, pal, buddy?
Not live on air, but if you PM after this, you never know.
What's that bank details again? BSB.
Let's go to this GoFundMe page. And,
yeah.
So next week, yep, definitely 300 Ks at Sebring. So I'm not sure whether we're doing it at night or day. Night would be very interesting.
Barely see during the day, let alone at night time.
We have done it at night before. I can remember being entertained greatly by a certain Mr. Varga, as we talked about before, coming down into the Melbourne hairpin with Mario Reale.
Oh, I think Mario still has nightmares.
I didn't think Mario was ever coming back after that one.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, to be honest.
I think Mario still has nightmares over that.
Twilight was good.
Try and mix it up while everyone's spaced out. We might run down the back a bit more, have a bit of a look at Marshy. Marshy puts a lot of time into painting his cars these days. Looking quite good again. And Tony running the Aussie Hampton livery. And Joseph, I think we looked at before, and Greg Sholton again going a bit loose.
Oh, this game's going to be a draw.
Oh, I was going to watch that later. I can't believe you ruined it for me. Oh, wait, there it's AFL you're watching, isn't it?
We might just quickly jump back on with Pete Vermy as he winds in Faz. And definitely all happening.
Faz is still running the pinball machine.
Oh my god.
What?
Heath.
What are we oh my god-ing about?
Richmond players screwed up.
Oh, you're talking about the footy. We're talking about the race here, mate.
Is that because he's playing for Richmond or what?
And he went to play on just as the siren went, and he had a chance to shoot in the goal.
After
He
the
played
siren
on.
or on the siren?
Alright, well, the umpire called it, so he's not going to get it.
Is the game finished or?
Yeah, done. Draw.
Oh, you're kidding.
Fucking draw.
You're kidding. Oh well.
That's
First
a
for the
screw
year,
up.
I think.
It is.
I don't think I've seen one yet.
Was he kicking distance, Mark?
Yeah. Right on the 50.
Oh, you should have found. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, that's tough for some people.
Yeah, that's tough, especially at the fourth quarter, end of the game. That would be a tough gig. Where was the game played? MCG?
Marble.
Marble. Oh, you probably could have got it, maybe.
Yeah.
Although you get pretty heavy legs at the end of Marble.
And considering if someone's standing on the 50, it means you've got to kick it from about 55.
Yeah. And they'll put their ruckman there.
Yeah.
see Mars kick it for about 57.
Scotty Gamble saying a night race at Sebring in the V8s would be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
We were only talking about that last night. About should have a night race somewhere, just to mix it up.
Well, there's not many tracks that you can do with that.
Yeah, that's the trouble. You got
And Daytona's not in this season, so we can't do it there.
No.
You're still upset about that, aren't you, Roy?
I know. If any track I was going to try and sneak into it, you think that would have been the one I would get in, wouldn't you?
Knoxville.
Well, it's only what Twin Ring, Sebring, and Daytona.
Pretty much.
Well, no, that's not a bad choice. Knoxville, we could do a dirt night, 300 k's on the dirt. Can you imagine that?
Gally would whip us all.
NASCAR does the utes on the or the trucks on Eldora.
Right.
So
And Timmy's just got you there, Andrew.
They did the sprint cars on
they did.
at Bristol, so that was all on the dirt.
Cam Waters was at Warrnambool this year with his supercar. He did a few laps around there for Monster
Yeah.
in the supercar.
And he didn't even have anywhere near the right gearing, I heard, either. So
Yeah. That was pretty cool. There's a Monster ad probably on YouTube.
Timmy Betts is 8
You
seconds
would
behind
need
him.
the right gearing to go around Warrnambool in a supercar. Just leave it in bloody fifth gear.
It,
It should be a bit of hard work. All this turning in one direction.
yeah, I thought 100 laps around Winton was bad. Could you imagine doing 300 plus laps around a dirt track? The amount of opposite lock, my arms would be falling off. by
Are
the
we
end
all
of it.
looking forward to Norschlaf?
Sorry,
I am.
I couldn't hear you then. I think your microphone's playing up again. Oh, that's it. Perfectly hear you that time.
Yes, it
Just
was
a rally.
top
You
topic
do that well. You
topic
do
of
that
discussion with Richie Varela this evening. It was the old Nordschleife
Isn't it just a rally stage? That's what it's got to feel like.
for 10 laps.
Yeah.
Actually, what is the exact layout? What Grand Prix track are we aiming to
It's
that?
Grand Prix track and the full circuit. So I believe.
24 hour.
Yeah, basically the
24
24-hour layout. Yeah. And of course, one of the corners named this week to Shabina Schmidt.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, the lead.
All right, Pete's got to work for it here.
Was it her? I think I can't remember whether it was her that drove a Ford Transit around.
Yeah.
For Top
Yeah.
Gear,
Northside,
yeah,
yeah.
in under 10 minutes.
She came the crap out of that thing.
I think she went close to an F1 drive too, didn't she?
Yeah, she wasn't too far off it.
I think she was like their backup for one team there.
She was a very handy driver. I'll admit that much.
Then all of a sudden she was gone, and you sort of went, oh. I remember giving Jeremy crap in that, was it a Jaguar or something?
Yeah.
Go faster, go faster.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Scotty. It's going to be one that's going to be very interesting to see how everyone plays it. It's going to be a hard one to get hyped up about. But it'll be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to see how everyone tackles it. I think different drivers are going to have different ideas and different strategies. Nice pass, Pete. It's lap 41 now with 44. And Stephen Murray saying there will not be any safety cars at the Nordschleife. I don't think there will be because you're going to have
Nah.
time. You're going to have time to clear the car out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we discussed it last night. There won't be safety car.
Wouldn't matter. You tell somebody to tow. By the time they actually tow and get back anyway, they're already going to have lost a lap. So.
Yeah, it's about a 9-minute tow.
Yeah, I think we're going to work it out during the week to make sure the tow is much longer than the lap.
Oh, it will be.
Steve
Depending
Murray
on
saying
where you are on the
8
track,
minutes
but-
per lap is the driving time.
Really? Are you that quick around there?
It
Eh?
was about 8:40.
Stephen Murray, not me. You seen me drive? I drive before the Connor van. So Luke is doing well, running in the top 12. You'd be,
What happens to me, mate Rattler?
your mate Rattler, he is running around in 14th, so he's
Now, how do you go from the pointy end down to the...
turn 1.
He
Sorry,
played in the sandpit.
Oh,
second chicane coming into the first on lap 1, coming into the curb. He hit the curb quite hard, spun it round backwards, ended up at the back of the pack already there, and then had a run in with Darren Walden, I think, on lap 3. And I think you got to drive through for that run in, so that was pretty well much night over for him, I think.
I tell you what, considering he's only just started on here as well, he's really showing some improvement. I think he's doing a lot of work with Hoffy at the moment, so...
For a man that's never driven
Yeah.
any simulator games.
And Dave Baldock's trying to give out spoilers for the Race Stars TV coverage of Split 2. So I won't read that out. He just said it is the best pass he has ever seen and would like to know how he does it.
Yeah, John's already been bored by that pass last night, Dave.
Roy
I
Kate,
went into every room and showed everybody.
yeah, not once but 4 times from different angles. And
Yeah.
Scotty Weston,
Was that a pass on Dave Bulldog, though?
No, that was a pass on Pecky and Simon Pitt. And
I would have thought, if Dave's bringing it up, it might have been a pass on him. So Dave's pretty easy to pass.
you go, Ed, you're fighting it out to the end, mate. Got a good little battle here with Scotty Perrins and Darren Friend.
Watch it. Scotty makes it interesting right to the last lap. We're actually fighting for position.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a battle on track here. So it's good to see there's still some battle packs. Even everyone else is fairly spread out. Greg Shelton's doing quite well as well. He's chasing down Joseph Grenshaw. These boys having a good little battle as well. A lap down, but... Oh, no, Greg.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Job all day long.
As the race leader's on 43 now. Ed chasing down Scotty again. Looking for the big move here, Ed. Will you get it done? I bet you the brake pedal was a bit deep there. Jump back up the front. Timmy Betts trying to chase down Jeremy Bush. Jeremy Bush 6.8 seconds up the road here. And you can see Timmy in the background with Andrew Galley. And then Brett Taylor's their next driver on track. As Timmy comes around to start the last lap. Another great drive. So just while we're on the last lap here, I'm just going to ask a couple of quick questions, see what everyone thinks. The license penalty system, I think at the moment it caps out at, I think it's 20 when you get to sit out, and I think you'll lose 1. If you don't have any points added around, you lose 1 point. A few people questioning this week in the chat whether that's harsh enough or not. So I just wonder what everyone's thoughts are on that.
I've been quite lean on giving them out. Everything I've done is like the lowest points when they probably should be higher.
Yep.
But I look at the league, the series with league split 3. I don't feel you guys do it on purpose.
You mustn't
Yep.
have given me my points in round 1 then, did you?
Ben did round 1.
Yeah, that's my only quarrel, and yeah, it's nothing. But I got maximum for that, and seeing some of the other incidents from split 1 and split 2, and they're only getting 3 points. I'm like, is it fair? Nah, but whatever. Got to do something. So.
No,
Yeah, I think we stay with the one we got. You got to put a deterrent in there, and
yep.
Yeah, and it
I
doesn't.
mean, there's got to be something, but
Yeah.
whether it's, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but
5
even
or 10 points isn't going to be enough of a deterrent for anyone to
yeah,
be stupid on lap 1.
yeah. And I think at the end of the day, you got to get the 20 points as well before you got to sit out. So you've got plenty of room to play with. I think it's more of a question of, do you have the -1 to reward good driving, I guess, or normal driving. That was the question we had.
Nah, to be honest, and I've got license points, so they're coming off my at the moment. I'd be happy if they didn't come off and that just carried through for the whole season.
Yeah, that's one thing to think of. As of course, Jeremy's won the race there. She's done very well. Well done, Jeremy. And in second, we've got Timmy Betts and Andrew Galley home in third. So, nice, consistent drive to fight back from where you were, Tim. You have to be happy with that.
Yep. Very.
It's good.
Jeremy was class above this week.
It's good to see that we're starting to filter through some different winners too now. So we'll see what happens next week.
And Andrew, you're also on the podium, mate. You've got to be happy getting third, considering you didn't qualify well and you didn't think you had good pace.
Didn't qualify well. Qualified second, John. Yeah, no, I was wrapped that out last week, and but yeah, no, it was really good.
You're easier to stir up than Dave.
And you know
Galley, not Bulldog. Which is probably easier than Bulldog. Who else we got in here? We have a quick chat to Laurie, home in 10th, mate. Top 10 finish. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, stuffed up second last lap. Changed back in a second when I shouldn't have, but anyway, all good. Had a load of fun.
Oh, that's good, mate.
Racing.
That's the main thing, as long as you're having fun, I guess. That's what we're all here for. Ed, you fought your way back, mate. Ended up in 16th, probably not where you wanted to be, but still going. So you got to take the points where you can. And lost Ed. Yeah, that's all right. And yeah, Laurie?
It was a good race. Good race with everyone, actually, a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of ill feelings anywhere.
Yeah, no, I thought the boys, everyone sort of drove really well, and it was a bit of fun had by all. And yeah, I think we sort of few incidents in lap 1, which we sort of all had our elbows out and fought pretty hard for position, which was good to see. A little bit of bad luck to a few boys with that, though, unfortunately, for the likes of Scotty. And I don't think Mark deliberately spun off to cause a problem.
I do.
I don't. I didn't. Sorry. It was just, yeah.
Was it just his dummy hitting the PowerPoint?
No. The crash on lap 1 was just one of those things. It's through practice through the week. You could do it, 9 times out of 10 and perfectly.
Yeah.
And just that one time you go around there with everybody, behind you, so
yeah,
just didn't work out the way.
And just before we go, I got one more question I was going to ask, and that was about the 30 points you got to put up to dispute or protest a decision that we have up in the system. So at the moment, I think to protest a race control decision, you got to put up 30 championship points. And a few boys have asked the question: was it too much, or too much, which is hindering too many people from putting up a protest? So I just guess I'm asking the question: is what's everyone's thoughts on that? Should we drop it back to say 10 points, or
No.
I think it's a good idea because it stops some of the bitching towards
Yeah.
race control.
Mhm.
No,
And you've got to make sure that what you're going to put in
Is
isn't
actually
just
worth putting in.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fair
not
enough.
just wasting race control's time going in there and spending hours.
100%.
Yep.
Well, that's fair enough too. Yeah,
In other words, cop it on the chin, buddy.
yeah,
Exactly.
Because all you're basically doing, if it's nothing, is you're basically just being a verbal keyboard warrior. So at least if you're going to be a clown, put up some points and go argue your point, but make it worthwhile.
yeah.
Fully did agree. Fully agree.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You still here, Josh? Correct me if I'm wrong. If you had penalised me for something and I wanted to go and talk after the race and ask why you penalised me, I'm sure you'd be open to explain it to me without putting 30 points up. Crickets. Josh.
No, he's saying it's going to cost you 60 points because it's you.
Josh
might
is,
plan up.
Super cheap points.
anyway,
Well, it's just like the AFL, mate. They're trying to cut back the backlash on umpires, isn't it?
yeah, that's pretty much what they try and do.
They have a similar thing too, don't they? You take the week or try to argue it, But if you lose, you take the week.
Or you get more.
Yeah.
So
You win a couple, you lose a couple.
right.
Dave Baldock. I'm now getting personal messages from Dave Baldock of a 1 to 18th Ford Mustang GT Super Cheap Auto Racing 2019 Penrite's Oil die-cast model for $200. Is that the livery you want to race next season, is it, Dave? Just asking for a friend?
Or is that going to be your
Team
Phillip
livery.
Island paint?
Don't give that secret away yet. It's retro round. 2019 is not retro enough. That'll be a funny
And
one.
I don't think Glenn Seaton drove that. He may be prepared to go with something Aaron Seaton's driven, but that means he has to drive a Ford, Holden, so not sure if he'll go that way either.
Does look good though, Dave. I do like it. Anyway, on that note,
maybe they should take some championship points off what gets posted on a Discord towards the series. That might be another deterrent. It should be put up there.
It's a good idea.
It's
some of the clowns that have, especially with what happened to Ben and that was crap.
Yeah.
So maybe either deletion button or championship points in that.
Hey, Josh, is that burnouts allowed in the pit lane like that?
Dave, to answer your question, Dave, that red on the Commodore is the same red on the 2021 Commodore that Super Cheap campaigned with 888 at Bathurst. So that answers your question that you put into the message you sent me as well.
Well, that's a terrible colour.
Oh, he's trying to tell me it's the wrong. He's trying to tell me it's the wrong red.
He's South Australian. You wouldn't know what colour red really was.
Anyway, on that red note, we might close the broadcast out. So big thank you to everyone that has been watching, and we've been sitting in the pits watching me do burnouts upsetting Laurie for a few minutes now, and I've still got 19 people watching. So Big thank you to everyone. Big thanks to the guys that are here: Andrew Galley, Ed, Josh, Laurie, Mark, Marshy, Roy Clark, and Tim Betts. So next week we're off to Sebring, and I hope everyone can come and join us. We should hopefully be back to our regular 10 o'clock time slot, which doesn't seem regular this season so far. Yeah, so I'll see everybody again next week. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Johnny.
John.
Thanks,
See ya.
John.
John.